So while Josh and I were in New York City, we were lucky enough to get to go visit the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. It was a very moving and humbling experience, and if anybody ever has the opportunity to go visit it, I cannot recommend it enough. Take your time, walk through there, feel it and experience it. It will bring you right back to that day. But while we were walking through, we saw this incredibly beautiful blue wall. There was a nice lady there volunteering who we were lucky enough to get to speak to about this blue wall. We didn't understand what we were looking at, and she so graciously allowed us to interview her. I would like to share that interview with you today and let you hear firsthand what this sweet lady experienced on 9/11 and how it affected her life and the lives of all those around her. It was pretty incredible. It was very moving and very touching. And I feel like we are incredibly blessed to have gotten to speak to her, and not only to speak to her, but to get to capture that moment with her. So please enjoy this video, this interview that we did with her, and thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Sorry?
We're YouTube.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, you'll be fine.
Yes, but if you could tell me about this wall, because it's your favorite, I would
It
really...
is my favorite, yeah. This is, well, you can see the name of it right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not written, it's developed by an artist named Spencer Finch. And what he wanted to do was to create something that represented the sky on September 11th. Now, where do you people live?
So he and I are from Louisiana.
Okay, so you were not
We
in
were
New
not.
York.
We were not in New York.
We're from here.
Okay, so you must remember that it was
so vivid.
It
The
was
sky
it was
fluorescent.
It was incredible. It was an incredibly blue sky.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he created this mural, and there were 2,983 tiles to represent all of the people that died on 9/11, which were 2,977, and the 6 people that died in February of 93, on the first attack in the parking lot.
Yes.
And every single one of them is a different color blue.
Oh, wow.
And I will be honest with you, I didn't believe them when they told me that. And so I was taking pictures and stuff, and I said, oh, come on. So then I tried to find matching, and that's impossible. So then I said, wait a minute. Your eyes automatically make a montage of what you're seeing, what you're looking at. So I'm going to take small pictures. So I did. I took small pictures. That's when I found orange tiles, green tiles. I know, you're not going to believe it. Green tiles, of course, pink tiles, and all different colored blues, purples and blues. Yeah, and so that's what they are to represent. And they placed it here to connect the two towers, the North Tower and the South Tower, because this was all of the people that passed away because of terrorism, because of the attacks on it. And this wall that it's placed on is called the repository wall. And behind that wall are all the remains of unidentified people.
Oh, wow.
Unidentified victims. Yeah. Now, unless you have a loved one, excuse me, who has not been identified, you can't go back there.
Oh, wow.
And I've been back there, not because of that, because I went with a friend whose son was killed, and her son was Wells Crowther, known as the man in the red bandana. I don't know whether you're familiar with that or not, but if you go on YouTube, his friend created a piece on him for ESPN, and It's probably 13 minutes and 53 seconds long, but it's a beautiful little story about him and what he did. But he was in the South Tower. He was a of course the words are completely gone now. My brain is done with words. He was I'll remember it at some point. I will remember it.
Just yell at us.
Yeah. But he was, and he was also a trained firefighter.
Oh, wow.
And so he saved about a dozen people because he found the only working staircase. Well, the only staircase that was available in the South Tower. And so he went down to this lobby where there were a bunch of people and said, "Follow me, I know where the stairs are." And then went back up and got people and carried people down 17 flights of stairs and went back up. And his parents did end up finding out his whole story. And she asked this one woman, did he not want to leave? And she said, oh no, he didn't want to leave because he knew there were still people up there that he could help. And that was simply who he was. That's,
Wow.
I did not know him in life, but I've certainly gotten to know him in his death. And so he just,
Wow.
he was an equities trader.
Okay.
See, those are hard words.
Those are hard words. That's
He
awesome.
was an equities
Yeah.
trader. And
What an incredible story.
yeah, it's really, if you have a chance, go on YouTube and look at that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Look at that. It's about 15 minutes and
Yeah.
53 seconds long. His mom and dad are in that, are in it as well. And but this is my favorite.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling us
It is
about it.
now my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's so, the thing is, there's so much. When we got in here before this was even open, we came in with hard hats and the
Sure.
machinery was still all around. And it was like, oh, because there's no color in here. And there's a reason for that. I mean,
Right.
there's, have you been outside? Have you done the memorial outside?
We walk past on the way and we're going up there.
Okay, I mean, I want to tell you a little bit about the waterfalls. The waterfalls, of course, when you see that it's the North Tower, understand that waterfall, that pocket of air and water, is inside of that structure right there. And the South Tower, obviously, is inside of that structure over there. And it's not the size of the tower.
Okay.
But if you stand on any side of that tower and look behind you, you're going to see a row of trees. And that row of trees goes all the way around, and that's the size of the towers. Now you can walk all around this tower, but you can't walk all around the South Tower because that's where the trains were coming in. And you can still do it, but it's not the exact path that you would take as you did over here.
Wow.
And of course the towers have the water coming down, and then if you notice there's another hole in the middle of it, and you cannot see the end. You can't see the bottom of that. And that is so that you never forget. They don't want you to look over and say, oh, okay, that's the end of my memory. They don't want that to happen.
Wow.
So they have that, and
Very well done.
and the names on the panels, the brass panels that have the names, on the far left corner of each panel on this side is going to be either an N for north, S for south, dash, and then there'll be a number. So if you know anybody who was lost on 9/11, go into the South Tower over here, and they have desktop computers, and you can type in the name, you can type in your hometown, you can type in a country or your state, and those names will come up.
Wow.
Yeah, the names will come up, and it'll tell you where they are. So when you go outside, if it says, S50, that happens to be where Wells is, you just look over here, and when you find S50 on that panel are all the names.
Oh, wow.
And the names are not alphabetical. They are, well, they're done by association. So in other words, if you were in a certain ladder or truck for a fire department or a certain company, that's when you would be you'd be in that area. Or if you had a relative or a good friend that was also lost, they made a request, can you two be together? It doesn't matter where you were, whether you were in the South Tower or the North Tower. And so those are called meaningful adjacencies. And so so they were very careful about that too. And they really took it, I think they took a lot of care in knowing what can we do to make these people perpetuate their life.
Absolutely.
I mean, how can we remember them?
Right. That's
in
incredible.
so many ways.
Well, thank you for all of that.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I probably gave you more than you were
No,
expecting, so I'm
not
sorry.
at all. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well,
Okay, so to go in with her story, here's a close-up of this wall. And you can see, I see yellow, I see green, pink. Yeah, I totally see it. That's so cool. So you've seen it from far off, and here it is close up. And it is indeed not all blue. That's crazy. I also want to say that she told us that this is made from steel from the Twin Towers.